In this class, we will write the program to find the largest element in an array of n elements, and also we will print the position of the largest element. First, write the preprocessor statement. Next, declare the variables. First, have taken an integer variable n, which indicates the number of elements that I want to be stored in the array. I, which is used to index the array elements. Next, array A, and the variable big, which is used to store the largest element of the array. The variable position, which is used to store the position of the largest element of the array. First, input a value for n, which indicates the number of elements that we want to be input to the array A. Next, using the for loop structure, input n elements to the array A. To know how to input the elements to the array, you just refer my previous YouTube video how to input the elements to the array and how to display the elements of the array. Here I have taken n value as 4. I have input 5 elements to the array A. Next, we will find the largest element of the array. Here we have taken a variable big to store the largest element of the array. First, we assume first element of the array is the largest element of the array. How to assume it? Just by copying the first element of the array to big. Next, take the next element of the array, compare it with big. In case the next element is greater than big, then copy that next element to big. Otherwise, leave it. Take the next element, that is third element of the array, then compare that third element with a big. In case third element is greater than big, copy that third element to big. Otherwise, leave that third element. Then next, take the fourth element of the array, then compare that fourth element with the value of the variable big. In case that fourth element is greater than big, copy that fourth element to big, otherwise leave it. We should repeat this process for all the remaining elements of the array. So first, assume the first element of the array is the largest element. How to assume it? Just by copying the first element of the array to big. What is the first element? First element of the array is e of 0. Here we have assumed the first element is the largest element. So what is its position? Position is 0. Next, we need to compare the next element. Next element is e of I with big. In case if that e of I is greater than big, we need to copy that e of I to big. And also we need to copy the position. Position is I, that is copied to. Position as I, that is copied to the variable position. In case if the next element e of I is not greater than big, just control moves out of if, just we go back to the loop. I want to repeat this comparison steps for all the elements of the array except the first element. So that's why I'll take initial value for I as 1, not 0. I is up to n. On each step, I is incremented by 1. After the execution of this for loop, the variable big, which stores the largest element of the array, and the variable position, which stores the position of the largest element of the array. So after this for loop, I'll write printf statement to print the largest element, that is get stored in the variable big, and also its position as get stored in the variable position, but here have used the variable position plus 1 because for non-technical people they don't know about this 0th position. So that's why for us, if it is a 0th position element, but for the non-technical people, it is the first element. So that's why I've taken the variable. That's why I'll print the value of the variable position plus 1. First, input a value for n. Here I have taken n value as 5. Then input n elements to the array A. Next, what is it? The next instruction is big is equal to u of 0. U of 0 value is 30. 30 is copied to big. Next instruction, position is equal to 0. 0 is copied to the variable position. Next, then for loop instruction, initial value for I is 1. Then I less than n value is 5, 1 less than 5, the condition is true. Control enter to follow. Next we compare u of I with big. U of I means 40, u of I means u of 1, u of 1 value is 40. Is 40 is greater than big? Is 40 is greater than big? Yes. Then copy u of I to big. U of I means u of 1, u of 1 is copied to big, that is 40 is copied to big. Next copy I to position. I value is 1, 1 is copied to position. Next end of if, then end for means control return back to for loop. Next updation, I plus plus I is incremented by 1. Then condition, I less than n, 2 less than 5, the condition is true. Next compare, then compare u of I, that is u of 2 with big. U of 2 is 20, 20 is compared with big. Big value is 40. Is 20 is greater than big? No, the condition is false. Control moves out of if. Next, end for means control return back to for loop. Next, updation, that is I is incremented by 1 means I becomes 3. Then condition, is 3 less than 5? Yes. Control enters to follow. Next we compare u of I with big. U of I means u of 3. U of 3 value is 50. As 50 is greater than 40, that is greater than big? Yes. Then copy u of I to big. U of I means u of 3, that is 50 is copied to big. Next copy I to position. I value is 3, 3 is copied to position. End if, next instruction is end for, control return back to for loop. Next updation, that is I is incremented by 1. Then condition, is I less than 5? I value is 4. Is 4 less than 5? Yes. Control enters to follow. Then compare u of I with big. U of I means u of 4. U of 4 value is 10. Then big value is 50. Is u of 4, that is 10 is greater than big? No. Control moves out of if. Then end for means control return back to for loop. Next updation, that is I is incremented by 1 means I becomes 5. Is I less than 5 n? Is I less than n? I value is 5. 5 less than 5, the condition is false. Control moves out of for loop. The statement after the for loop is a print instruction which print the value of the variable big as 50, that is the largest element of the array. Then it print the value of the variable position plus 1. Position is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4. So that is big value is 50 and its position is printed as 4 because this element 50 is present at 4th position for the users. But for us it is at the 3rd position. This is the flowchart for this program. Read n, then input n elements to the array. Next copy first element to the big, 0 to position. Next compare u of I with big. If it is greater than big, copy u of I to big. You should repeat it for all the elements of the array except first element.